Honestly, to me, from like where I was living at to the time I came here, like Bishop and Miss Wynn, they showed me so much stuff. I mean, when I walked in this door, I mean, I didn't know what to expect at first. I was nervous. But this man, he showed me some stuff that I didn't ever think the doors were gonna be open to. Like this, to me, this is the best place to be. Like if I have a problem going on, I can go to him and talk to him, and he's willing to sit down and talk to me and let me know what's the best thing I need to do. And Miss Wynn the same way. I mean, both of them, they're just good people. Like if you have anything going on, you got something going on with your family, nothing, you can go to them and they'll be more than happy to sit down and talk to you. But this is the best place I've been.
Well, Miss Lula and Mr. Bishop, thank you so much for having me here today. Just after spending an hour with these boys, I have come to recognize that this house is full of love, it's full of laughter, it's full of just grace is what I see when I'm here and what I feel when I'm in the presence of this home. Um, and I love it. And when I think of Genesis, I think of beginning. That's just what I think.
Yes.
So I just wanted you to kind of share with me how the Lord laid the Genesis house on your heart and how He brought this vision to where it is today.
The word Genesis, of course, does mean beginning, and that's why we named the program Genesis. But originally, we did not start with young men, teenage boys. Originally, we started taking men out of prison, first-time offenders, and the judge would sentence them to me, and we did that for 17 years, taking guys out of prison. The guys who committed first crimes would come and stay in the home. So after about 17 years, a friend of mine in the court system, we were actually building this house for older men. And a friend of mine said, why don't you work with teenage boys and try to prevent them from going to prison rather than working with them on the other end. So that's really how it came about, with us switching from adults to children. So about 17 years ago, we had done the adult program about 17 years, and about 13 years ago, we switched over to teenage boys. We started out feeding people on the street. For about 10 years, we went out every Saturday. We would set up cooking stations in Macon and Houston County, Dublin, Eastman, all around Hawkinsville. We would set up cooking stations and we would feed men and street women. And we did that for several years. And one Saturday afternoon, I met a man that was intoxicated, and he asked me a question that just literally caused me to go into deep thought. He said to me, Mr. Preacher, if I walked in your office and asked you for a job, would you hire me? And I looked at him and he said, please be honest. And I said, no, I wouldn't. And he looked at me and he said, I face this every day of my life. He was dirty, he was nasty, he was carrying a crocus sack on his back with everything he had. And he said, I face this every day of my life. I have nowhere to shower, I have no address. He said, I can't get a job. And he actually had a PhD. Some incidents that happened, he lost his family and became an alcoholic and was living on the street. But those words troubled me. And we came back, and I addressed my church at that time, and we rented a hotel room to go back to find this man and take him off the street. And that's really how the Genesis house started. We started with the room, but I never saw this guy ever again. And I honestly believe he may have been an angel unaware. I never saw him on the street again. And then we started pulling guys off the street, and we went from that to renting a home. And we went from the home to building this house. And as I said, I was building it for older men, and then went from the transition from the older guys to the younger guys after talking with a friend of mine in the court system.
That's so beautiful. I admire your heart to listen and your willingness to respond, because that's something I think we miss a lot in society. So it's awesome. And I've loved seeing you interact with these boys, Miss Wynn. Oh my goodness.
When they come to us, it's a struggle. Probably the first couple of weeks or so, because they have to, get used to being here and really trying to find out who we are and what we're all about. But once they realize that we love them and we want what's best for them, and we're going to always be here to support them.
Yes.
And so that those walls start to come down. And we keep them in church, and we have one group of men that come here on Tuesday nights and do a Bible study with them. And, just incorporate the normal life setting into their broken lives. And so that kind of gets them to see that, there is hope. And that's what we want to do, is offer hope.
And our main focus here is we don't run this as a foster home or a boys home. If you notice, there's no sign. And that's done by purpose, not to have a sign out, because there's a stigma on them. And the stuff they go through in school, and you live in a foster home, so there's no sign out. And so we run it as a family. We love them as our own sons. We take a family vacation every year with these boys, from the mountains to Florida to Tennessee to North Carolina. Every year we go and rent up to 4 condos, 2-bedroom condos, so they can experience what a real family's like. And when we go and people say, "Are all those your boys?" Yes, every one of them. We're never saying it different that they're not. But it's a family atmosphere, and our entire family's involved. My son, who works with the kids, my daughter, who helps with the kids. So all of us are involved in the lives of these young men, trying to make a difference.